guys, welcome back. I'm really excited today because I get a chance to review the #1 most requested locomotive from Athearn. That is the SDP45. I've got a DCC and sound unit here. It is Erie Lackawanna. MSRP is $289.98. We've got a lot of details to cover. Alright, let's open this SDP45 locomotive for the first time. As you see, Athearn did a nice job of putting a label on the end. They've got these new labels that depict the locomotive, this being Erie Lackawanna, of course. Classic Genesis blue box. And we remove the lid and we've got the manual. Now this manual has a nice gloss cover. Talks about handling and maintenance, DCC and sound, with some functions listed, some CVs listed on how to tweak certain CVs, and exploded parts diagram, the different types of SDP45s. Keep in mind they have road specific details. You've got the different road names, warranty information, more photos, 26-page pamphlet by Athearn with a nice gloss finish like I said. Warranty card, 1 year limited warranty through Athearn. Fill out the card, send it in, you'll be covered. Keep your receipt, as you know. And the Athearn flyer with Athearn news. Now you are seeing the locomotive for the first time, and so am I. As with all my reviews, these things come out live on camera, so whatever way I receive this locomotive is the way you are seeing it. So out of the package it comes. Slide the outer hard case plastic, and we got some bracing here. Whoa, now this has some weight. Looks like Athearn has really stepped up their game on the weights of these locomotives, because this has some good weight. We will measure it here in a moment. So here's the locomotive. I think we'll go ahead, because the weight's so noticeably heavy, we'll go ahead and move over the scales now and get the weight of this. Scale is all calibrated and ready to go. We are in ounces. We're going to set this locomotive down, and we've got 20.3 ounces, 1 pound, 4.3 ounces, 0.575 kilograms, and 575 grams. We have lots of detail to cover on this locomotive, and for those of you who are experts on the SDP45, specifically the Erie Lackawanna, I really want to encourage you to click the little gearbox down on the right hand corner of the video and view this video in 1080p HD in full screen so you can really capture the detail of this locomotive. Now, working our way up from the top, we have the Sinclair radio antenna up top, also known as the icicle antenna in some cases. We have the horn, which is a Leslie S-3LR with low clearance bracket right here. Now this horn is painted gray to match the body, and that's correct for the prototype and what I've seen on the prototype. We have the headlight and number boards here. We've got the sand filler here, the sand filler lid. You've got the short hood here with a lot of details, including the Erie Lackawanna logo on front. You've got separately applied grab irons that are nicely done up here, and you've got some detail below down here with these little doors there, and a little stand on the front of the locomotive that sticks out right in front of the coupler, or right above the coupler. You've got the handrails and stanchions here. They are sturdy but thin enough to be prototypically correct. They are plastic. Moving our way down, you've got a plastic McHenry coupler with a magnetic trip pin. Now these McHenry couplers are a subsidiary of Athearn, or Athearn owns them, whatever way you want to say it. So Athearn's going to install these plastic couplers. You know, metal couplers are stronger, but these plastic couplers will do the job in a lot of situations. You've got the MU cables here, 3 on each side with silver tipped paint to the ends. A little hard to capture because it's covered up by the bottom here, but a nice job by Athearn on all those details there. Now let's quickly cover some details on the side of the locomotive you couldn't see from the front view. The first one is the Leslie S3LR horn with low clearance bracket. You can see that right here. It's nicely done, it's sturdy, it's a detail part that's added and doesn't come off easily. It is very durable. Moving on further, you have the brake wheel, which is located on the short hood here, and you have the handbrake housing that kind of houses the handbrake wheel there. It's in the notch in the side of the short hood. Working our way to the front where the coupler is, you've got coupler cut levers. Now those are very nicely detailed. You've got that McHenry coupler like I mentioned earlier, and then even further down on this locomotive what you have is an MU hose catch tray with a footboard. Now a lot of locomotives have like cow catchers or snow plows on the front. What you have here is the MU hose catch tray instead, and that is some of the road specific detail on this Erie Lackawanna version. Now another few features I want to show you are the adjustable cab windows here. You can see I can move the cab window into different positions. Inside you can't really tell, but it does have a cab interior. You've got the sunshade here, another detail part that is very durable. You've got clear print on the side with smaller print. You've got the radio equipped logo here, and you've got a little GM logo that if you zoom in, you can tell. Later I'll be zoomed in on the trucks and you'll be able to see that GM logo there, and that nice yellow stripe going along the bottom part of this locomotive. So working our way down the side, the thing that really sticks out to me, obviously you've got nice detail in the front area, the dynamic braking area, and all along the side of the locomotive. Erie Lackawanna is nice clear, the color is spot on, everything's nicely done. But the thing that really sticks out to me about this locomotive is the handrails. Now I've heard some complaints online about handrails being wavy on some of the Athearn locomotives. I agree that that has been the case, but it appears in this case there is no wave to this handrail. It's straight, it's thick enough that it's fairly more durable, but it's also very straight. There's no waves or dips or anything. These stanchions here are very well seated. I know in some previous locomotives, earlier runs of Athearn locomotives, these would pop out of their holes very easily. These are in here for good. As you see, I'm not getting these to budge at all. So it's got a good durability, yet a good thickness. They are still plastic. They are not metal handrails, but they're durable and they're straight as far as I can tell. Now, before we go on to the back of the locomotive, I want to show you two more things, and we'll have to zoom in on one of them. But you've got the nice fuel tank details here with the sight windows. I think they're called, again, I'm not that great on nomenclature, but a nice red color to those, and the nice flat black with a slight semi-gloss to the fuel tank itself. I want to show you the trucks and then we'll move on to the back of the locomotive. So I've got a little extra light pointed at these trucks, and I'm zoomed in so you can see the detail of the trucks. You can see the bell right here, and you can see the sanding lines and things. They've done a real nice job on these trucks. They're well detailed, and all the photos I've been able to study of this locomotive, they are prototypically correct. So a good job on the trucks and all the little details here. Working our way towards the back of the locomotive, we've got some of the same things we saw on the front with the MU stand, the coupler here, which is McHenry coupler plastic with trip pin. You've got the same MU hoses hanging out the back with the silver tipped ends. You've also got the handrails that are plastic. Nice little touch that Athearn does is they don't leave all the handrail one color. Like I've seen a lot of manufacturers leave the chain, yellow because they're painting this area yellow. This is a gray or silverish color chain, so it's different than the yellow here. There's also very sharp molded areas in these grab irons back here. Can't really get a good view without going up top, but there's a sharp angle. I've checked some prototype pictures, that's accurate, so they even captured that little sharp angle in the handrails there. Handrails are painted well. I don't see a lot of splotting or blotting in the paint, and there's no missing paint where the yellow is or where the gray is, so I don't see any problems with that. You've got incandescent bulbs front and rear, and you've got the separately applied grab irons, a ladder in this case, to the roof, which or the top of the locomotive, which also has a grab iron here, and you've got that V-shaped back end of this locomotive, which is road name specific because you've got some different back ends on the different type of locomotives. So just like you have different back ends on the different types of people, you've got the different back ends on this locomotive. Alright, let's go ahead and work to the other side, just show you a quick view. We'll go over the top, get some sounds going, and see what you think. Here's just a quick view of the other side of the locomotive. Those of you that really want to see some details, I figured I'd just show you the whole 360-degree view so you know what you're getting for your purchase price of $289. And we have pretty much wrapped around this way, so let's look at the top and bottom of the locomotive right now. So just a quick look at the top. You've got the dustbin hatch up front, right behind the ice skate antenna we talked about earlier. You've got the exhaust here. You've also got both the dynamic and radiator fan grills with see-through fan grills, and the fans. They're nicely done. They've got a nice silver metallic look to them, and just a nice overall detail and flat black appearance on the top of the locomotive. So that covers the top. I'm just gonna show you the bottom real quickly. As you see here, I've got kind of a giant hair. We have dogs in the house, so, or a dog. But what you have is the fuel tank with a little screw in the center for removing the fuel tank, and the underbody detail, which is, you know, for the locomotives isn't that in depth, but just wanted to show you all angles of the locomotive with this new Athearn release. So right now I'm going to start the locomotive up so you can hear the start sequence. Obviously, any of you good detectives out there can tell that we've lost quite a bit of light. I've done that on purpose so that you can capture the incandescent bulbs, the headlights of this locomotive, and see how they are, how they look, you know, without light getting in their way. So, of course, with any locomotive equipped with DCC and sound, the standard address is 3, so I'm going to go to address 3 and apply power to the layout. So there you heard the startup sequence. Now let's go ahead and turn the headlight on. As you see there, the headlight is on. The number boards appear to be lit in the video, but they aren't actually backlit. It's just kind of an extension from the headlight, but they do kind of have a backlit appearance that way. I don't know if that's intentional or just by chance, but it kind of addresses some of the folks that were talking about having backlit number boards on this locomotive. The first function I want to show you is something that will make you hear me better, which is function 8, which is mute. So now that we have it muted, we can talk a little more about the functions. 12 functions listed in the manual. I believe up to 28 functions on some Tsunami decoders. You can find more details on Tsunami's website for this specific decoder, but right now there's 12 listed in the manual, and the 11th and 12th actual function is only for Steam, and some of them are not applicable. So we'll just go over a few that you can hear for yourself and see if you like. I'm going to turn the sound back on. We'll go over the bell, the horn, and the short bell, and we'll do that so you can like simulate a grade crossing type of horn sequence and let you hear for yourself. Then we'll go ahead and start moving this locomotive around. So I'm taking mute off. Bell. For you sound enthusiasts, in case the bell was getting in the way of the horn, I've turned the bell off, and I'll let you hear the horn one more time without the bell in the way. And the short horn. The short horn has a bit of emphasis. It kind of comes up to a little bit of a point, and it's real short and sweet. That's about it for the sounds I'm going to go into. Let's go ahead and move this locomotive at 128 speed steps. I'm going to keep sound on only so you can hear as the RPMs increase. Now with 128 speed steps, I will be calling out each speed step so you can see how smooth the locomotive reacts to those speed steps. Now keep in mind that this hasn't been broken in at all. Speed step 1. Two. 3. 4. 5. So going in reverse, again at 128 speed steps, speed step 1. Speed step 2. Speed step 3. Speed step 4. Speed step 5. Go ahead and continue on for a few. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11 and 12. 14 and 15. 16. And I'm going to have to cut it out before I hit something. I'll go ahead and full blast it here so you can see what the highest notch sounds like going back forward. And there you have pretty much a good recap of all the notches that the locomotive goes into and all the sounds as the RPMs increase and decrease, as well as the smoothness of the drive, which out of the box, without any tweaks or break-ins, this thing is amazingly smooth. So there's a couple little catch-up items I want to talk about before we wrap this review up. The first one is the length of this locomotive. You're talking about a locomotive that from the very front of the coupler trip pen to the very back of the rear coupler trip pen, you're looking at just shy of 10¼ inches long. Now if you go body to body, you're looking at 9.75, about 9¾ inches long, somewhere around there. So here's a quick view of the rear of the locomotive with the incandescent bulbs. There's no problems with incandescent bulbs sticking out one further than the other or out of their housing. They're in there correctly. Again, keep in mind the prototype uses incandescent bulbs, so I think this captures the prototype correctly. I know there's just a raging debate over incandescents versus LEDs, but I just thought I'd mention that real fast. And now I'm going to take away most of the light so you can see the incandescent bulbs in all their glory on the rear. And I think we've exhausted about as much as we can, talking about all the details we can. So let's recap this review, wrap things up so we can move on to other products in the future for you. To wrap this review up, I'll start with price. Again, MSRP $289.98, which means with about a 25% discount, which you can find at several hobby shops, both online and brick and mortar, you're looking at paying around $217 for this locomotive on the low end, and all the way up to $289.98 on the high end. Now the locomotive has a lot of strong features. I think the durability has been kicked up a notch. Weight has definitely been kicked up a notch. You're talking about locomotive that weighs over a pound, well over a pound. So Athearn, again, is still working on improvements. I did look very specifically for wavy handrails. The handrails are straight when you look at them from the side. If you look at them straight on, there is a little wave still there on the handrails, but it's a plastic handrail, so there may be a little bit of wave. It depends on your model. Again, that's a debate that I don't feel like engaging in. It's up to you guys to decide whether it's a deal breaker for you or not. I was looking for some other issues on this locomotive. I really was looking for problems. You saw me unbox it. You saw that there's no broken parts or anything like that. So it's been a great locomotive from what I can tell. I did notice that it does have a power pickup problem if your track is really dirty, so make sure your track is clean. I ran it across my grade crossing where I had changed the grade crossing types just recently. There's a little bit of glue on the track. It had a little power pickup interruption, and that's when I realized I needed to clean my track. But anywhere else on the track, no problems. And I was really being picky trying to find something wrong with this locomotive, and that's about it. So in my opinion, it's a good deal. It's up to you guys who model. 3 versions of this, again, Erie Lackawanna, Great Northern, and Southern Pacific. It's going to be about 3 weeks or so before it's online, available for purchase, maybe a little less. Other than that, guys, there's not much to say about this locomotive. Vote with your wallet. Again, thanks for watching. I'm going to leave you with a run-by of this locomotive going past my grade crossing. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next time right here on my channel. Take care.